why do some cities, some districts that we were talking about, and some regions are capable of producing more, creating extraordinary value? So how does this happen? The ecosystem matters. Ecosystem is not a factory. It's not like tomorrow we are building roads, parks. Mainly comes with relationship, trust, and the knowledge. So when you only have the relationship, trust, and knowledge, and the people who are solving the problems together, that forms the ecosystem. Imagine one manufacturer decides to build a factory. Soon suppliers move closer, specialist machine appears, and tooling companies come nearby. Banks begin to understand the industry. Universities start teaching about the relevant skills, and entrepreneurs spot new opportunities. Then another manufacturer arrives. One factory quietly becomes 50 or more businesses. That's how the ecosystem grows. Not because someone planned each and every step, because every new business makes the next one easier. Let's take one region, Sivakasi, one district, yet it produced nearly 90% of India's fireworks. Say around 8 lakh families depends on that ecosystem. Manufacturers, packing companies, printers, transporters. The logistics is a very big business, right? Chemical suppliers, skilled workers, the generation of knowledge, accumulated knowledge. Thousands of connected businesses strengthen each others over the decades. So this is what an ecosystem will look like, and it's happening in services too. Let's take global capability centers. I was working in one without even knowing the name global capability centers for 12 years. So Tamil Nadu had around like 150 GCC centers 8 to 10 years back. Now it's almost double and more than 300. So say like if we have more A-grade buildings, talents grows through this GCC, and the next IP will be created instead of the service provider. The ecosystem even becoming more stronger. So people create the capability, ecosystem multiply this capability. Thousands of small businesses working quietly between these larger companies, suppliers, the customers, and entrepreneurs. So they all form the ecosystem. And now comes the MSME. All these MSMEs and the startups who innovate. The connectivity between them also forms a very important factor for the growing economy. India have around 8.7 crore MSMEs. Together, they contribute about 31% of India's GDP, and almost half of India's exports happening through the MSME. Like it was somewhere around 4 crores, and now around 13 crores in like 5 years. And most of them with the technology is doing a 17 to 20% more business. So technology is enabling them a lot. And to the factor, almost 99% of them are in the micro segment. Some of them don't even have the credit access or the technology access. If they get both this, then maybe they can multiply the capability. Forget about Crores, the GDP. Imagine one business, in one company, say let's take 35 lakh annual revenue. Since we are looking into the micro segment of the MSME, their yearly turnover is 35 lakhs this year, and they are not a startup and just an ordinary business. Through a better system, a better execution, a better decision, in 1 year timeline, their 35 lakh revenue is, they can multiply it into 1.2 crore. It's definitely possible. I have seen multiple balance sheets and it was there like. So 85 lakhs is the new economic value created by the MSME sector. It's automatically 1 year 3x actually. So 10,000 businesses doing the same thing, that's around 8,500 crore. And now let's look into 1 lakh businesses, that's roughly 85,000 crores in a year itself. An additional economic value is being produced, a new economic value created. So now $1 trillion economy doesn't feel like an impossible leap. It looks like thousands of ordinary businesses getting slightly better, one decision at a time, one better productivity decision. And Tamil Nadu, when we look into around 41 lakhs of MSME, and in that around 40 lakhs are still in the micro. Now I looked into like why companies like Zoha and Freshwork, now unicorns, and they started as a startup. So how can it naturally become hundreds of businesses in the next decade? That is definitely possible, because if 2 of them can do it in the last decade, then definitely 100 possible in the next decade, because of the capability and because of the people, because of their learning and because of the ecosystem. MSMEs connect together, like startup push the innovation. So now everything looks like everything is possible. So I just want to look whether the same signal happened before. I looked into Japan, South Korea, Singapore, China, different countries, different governments, different histories. Yet they followed surprisingly one similar pattern. First they built their capability, only later did the world notice their growth. As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, it didn't jump from textiles to semiconductor overnight. Each industry quietly prepared the next textiles, then automobiles, then electronics, then electric vehicles, and now semiconductors we are talking about. So this is a step-by-step process that we are into. Every industry left something behind. Textiles taught us manufacturing discipline. Automobiles demanded the precision. Electronics introduced global quality standards. Electric vehicles accelerated like new one, like an advanced manufacturing. Each wave made the next wave possible. That's an ecosystem evolving without even saying the name ecosystem. But success also creates its own challenge. This is also one of the most dangerous because economy doesn't fall when it is struggling, when it is actually succeeding. So that's why I was looking into, okay, this is also a challenging factor into it. The most dangerous moment for an economy isn't when it is struggling, it's when it is succeeding. Success creates the confidence. If the confidence doesn't goes into innovation, but if the confidence create a comfort, then comfort slowly becomes the complacency. And while one economy celebrates yesterday's achievement, another is already preparing for the tomorrow. That's how leadership quietly changes hands for the economies were competing on the labor cost before, natural resources and the cheap manufacturing. Today, that's not the scenario anymore. The race is actually changing. It's already changed because not anyone is looking for the price factor alone now. So how quickly everyone can learn, how quickly everyone can improve the process, how like the speed, because of how quickly they learn and change the process, become better. Now let's again compare two factories. Both have the similar machines, both serve the global customers, both employ the talented people, but there is one difference. One improves a little. Every month, it adopts better software, better decisions, automates their repeated work, and they learn from the data. They train the people. The other just waits when something they hear from their customers. Okay, I need this, I need that. Okay, I'll create all this capability. So they are actually falling behind. Both are busy. But one is actually going into the global competitiveness. It's learning faster. So now let's take Japan. It transformed the global manufacturing in 1980s. Like they are at the peak. Other countries gradually caught up.